Hello, you've tuned in to the Gfree and Happy Show tonight. Tonight I have special guests, Kai, Kathleen, and Brian from GlutenLibre.com. It's on the back here. They'll be on in a few minutes. And I'm also highlighting Udi's Pizza Crust. Stay tuned. Hello and welcome to the Gfree and Happy Show that happens every Monday night at 7 p.m. Pacific, 10 p.m. Eastern. I'm your host, Kathy, and we have a great show tonight. I've got a family as my guests. I've got Kai, Kathleen, and Brian, and they're from GlutenLibre.com. There they are, a picture of them. And they'll be on in a few minutes. We're going to talk about gluten-free awareness, celiac, for kids tonight, and how families are kind of dealing with this and finding signs to see if your kid's really sick. You know, it took them 4 years. That's kind of short years compared to nowadays. Let's hope it goes, we can catch these things sooner than 4 years. And also I am highlighting Udi's gluten-free pizza crust. But first, Episode 20 of Gfree and Happy is brought to you by Ovali TV. Ovali TV hosts and produces live video events built to meet your objective. Visit Ovali TV to request a free 30-minute consultation today to find out more about going live with your brand. Hello and welcome. I'm so excited. First off, I am a huge snob when it comes to pizza crusts, and it's hard to find a good pizza crust. But hello, this is found in your local freezer section. It's really cheap compared to most gluten-free pizza crusts. It's also kind of thin, but you get two of them. And my husband, who's not gluten-free, he ate this with me and he loved it. It takes 5 to 7 minutes to heat up. You can pile on the yummy toppings, and the ingredients are really simple.
Which thing? You didn't tell me you could make it double thick.
Oh yeah, I could have made it double thick. That would have been good.
Next time I want 2 of them.
Yes, because they're actually really tasty too. And the ingredients are right on the back of the screen. It's not that much, and there's not a lot of fat and calories, and it makes a really good tasting pizza. In fact, restaurants, if you're listening to me, please put this on your menu, because some of the pizza crusts out there that I get at restaurants are not very good. So everybody visit udisglutenfree.com and check out their pizza crusts and all their bread. Everything's great on this brand. Love every one of them. So that's my highlight for tonight, Udi's gluten-free pizza crusts. So without further ado, let's get on Gluten Libre. Kathleen, Kai, and Brian. Hi guys.
Hi. How are you?
This is good. So thank you so much for being a part of the show tonight. You're actually the first family I've had on as guests. I've been dying to have a family on to talk about how you came about diagnosing Kai, who's you're 13, right, Kai?
Yes.
So you're also on the Pacific Coast. Some of the guests I've had are on Eastern Coast, so it's hard to get kids on. So thank you so much. I'm very jealous of where you guys live, too, on the West Coast and the beautiful beach community. In fact, I'm showing a picture of it now. Yes. Anyways, why don't you guys tell us a little bit about yourselves?
Well, we live here in Ventura, California, and Kai is actually, he's the 5th of 6 kids. He has 5 brothers and sisters, and he is the only kid with celiac disease, along with myself. And he was diagnosed when, 4 years ago. He was just getting sick all the time, always complaining of stomach pains, and then when he got a real bad case of the swine flu at one point. He was in the hospital for 4 days, and just wasn't getting better after that. Very thin. I mean, we thought there was really something wrong with him, like the scary cancer thing or something, because they couldn't figure it out.
And we're showing a picture of him at the emergency room when he's being diagnosed, I think, or the last straw. Because you guys,
Yes.
yeah, for how many years? He was, I think you said 5 years old that he started not feeling his best. And he was actually losing weight, too.
Yes.
Yeah, I got that classic failure to thrive look, dark eyes, and a lot of bloating, cramps, and just, yeah, we just couldn't figure out what was wrong. It was like a guessing game.
And you
Well,
didn't have this in your family history, right? So you had no idea at all that this could be an option, right?
no, we didn't even know anything about it.
Actually, looking back, probably on Kathy's side, looking back, we believe her mom probably had it, just looking back on some of her symptoms, the way she was, and her comfort foods that we remember were actually gluten-free. And, she lived her whole life with comfort. So that's probably where we think it came from.
Yeah, they would always say it was IBS, but when we look back on my mom and how she was and her eating habits and everything, I'm almost positive she had celiac disease.
It's weird how that, because I can trace back a little bit too in my family of the stomach problems that we've had too. And I'm the only one. So, Kai, how did you feel during all this time? Tell me a little bit about how you struggled there. And I mean, finally found the cure, basically, that you should take that stupid gluten out of your diet.
Well, at first I felt weak and I just gross all the time. I couldn't really focus in school most of the time. So,
And you probably couldn't play with the kids as much as you like, sports and all that.
I'd usually have to go home around like a couple hours after school, into school, so I wouldn't get that much time into school. So
He'd be like
Yeah.
the first one asleep too if he'd have like a sleepover or friends over. He couldn't keep up with them. That was hard.
Or if we go hiking, I'd have to carry him part of the way. He would just kind of poop out quicker than his friends.
So here's some really good clues, everybody. If this is happening to your child, that they're pooping out really fast and that they're tired, and that's not a kid's, an active kid's, most of all your friends were probably very active and wanting you to play, climb trees, those avocado trees that I'm so jealous of.
And the bathroom breaks. You can't forget those. So.
Oh yeah, he was always having to run to the restroom, so constant, diarrhea or whatever.
That was the hardest part. We had to plan our stuff around bathrooms. A lot of people listening could relate to that. So
Actually, Taylor's on there. He's relating to everything Kai's saying. So, okay, Kathleen, after he found, you must have been relieved too, by the way, finally figuring out who told you. I mean, what kind of doctor was it? How did you find out that this was celiac?
Well, we were, I after he was in the hospital, I kept taking him back to the doctor, to the family doctor, and going, gosh, he's just not getting better. He's looking worse, and the doctor said, yeah, he does. He looks puny. That's what the doctor would say. And then he said, you know what, we're going to, why don't we test? He just said it. Let's test for celiac disease.
and which is kind of unusual because my doctor never said that to me.
Yeah, and actually we had a friend, one of his friends, their kids, we started hearing about it because they were celiac disease. And anyway, so he said, we'll test him, and sure enough, we did, and it came back, yeah, he had celiac disease. So at first he thought, we tried everything else. He said, let's try, lactose, see if he's lactose intolerant.
Meanwhile, he's never getting better, and he's feeling sick.
Yeah, oh yeah, he was just, and we feel bad, when you look back on it and you think the things you fed him, like to make him feel better, like, oh, I'll give him saltine crackers to make his stomach feel better, and what we were doing is making him worse, so.
And that's a good point too. You probably the parents probably go through a horrible situation there too, where you think, oh my gosh, what have I done to my child? Because you didn't know.
Yeah, back on some of the things. At first he thought it was stress from school, because the symptoms symptoms started right around kindergarten, and then in sports, you think, oh, maybe he has a stomach ache to get out of practice, or you think certain things. But now that I look back, I felt bad, and
Yeah.
it's hard to tell at first. But yeah, when the doctor picked celiac disease to test for it, it was the last thing. We tried everything else. So.
And that was the same with Taylor's on as the on chat tonight too. And that was like his last straw. It's like one more. It was the last test, and voila, there it is. Your celiac.
Exactly. It's about like all we do, awareness. If parents could just go in there and just ask, it could save some time. If it comes back negative, it's negative.
Yeah.
But it can't hurt to ask right
Yeah,
away.
exactly.
Yeah, that's the whole, I think, key thing with awareness is just have people. If you don't ask your doctor, he's probably not going to test for it until one of the last things. A lot of them they not something they look at.
And let's talk about so with all of these struggles that you've been through, you started this website. You guys are big on social media right now too, just slamming out all of the things that we should be aware of as parents, as people that I have gluten-free, I'm gluten-free, but a lot of people don't know that it's there. So you're just telling everybody you can speak to, and you're doing Facebook. Tell us what your goal is.
You go on that?
Yeah, go ahead.
Basically, our whole campaign or approach is to find and just showcase young kids, young adults, even older adults, gluten-free athletes, musicians, artists, whether they have celiac disease, gluten sensitivity, other gluten issues, or just Gfree as a diet choice, and just showcase them and use them for awareness. I'd love to even maybe sponsor some someday, get them our logo on a maybe surfboard, a skate deck, just to trigger that interest, or somebody goes, hey, what's that? And maybe a logo can do that.
And attract kids that are Kai's age, that age. There seems to be a gap in the age for awareness. A lot of Kai's, someone Kai's age won't be attracted to some of the, websites out there or anything there. If they're celiac, they're not going to go there and check it out. Their parents might, but the kids won't. If we could get something that the kids would be attracted to, and they could learn about how to eat and what's good for them, and that they're not alone, that would be great.
Or different type of kid, like Kai likes to skate, surf, concert, just a different group. Not one site is probably going to attract every group. We're just looking at a group that was maybe not focused on. So that's kind of how we came about it, just on what we like to do and what we're about. And I started looking up gluten-free surfers, skaters, anything like that. I didn't find many, so we kind of started going from there.
Not yet. I'm sure you will find them. And
there's I had to dig.
Yeah, and you have a troops section that you're going to be working on too to help troops. We talked about that in one of the shows that I've had, that if any of them are celiac, the awareness will happen. And your website actually has a lot of great information for kids, like you said, which I wanted to definitely highlight before we go back to Kai and his story. But this website is for kids. It's very kid friendly. It's got a lot of great pictures of Kai too. So let's talk about Kai and how he kind of lived a life of being sick, it sounds like, and now look at him. He's going full force with skateboarding, drumming, doing the guitar. What else do you do, Kai? And how do you feel at school now? I mean, do you go to lunch and have gluten-free stuff? Tell us a little bit about your lifestyle.
Well, right now I'm homeschooled, so it's easier here. And
now, why does the school not provide stuff for you? Did you feel bad about that?
They don't understand, really. They don't listen. I'm just...
It was kind of hard with his diet and him having... so we do the online school, the charter school through the school district, and it was hard for me to get him to understand, like, days he'd be sick, even with doctor's notes and everything. Some days he'd have an issue and couldn't go to school, and there was lots of absences, so he'd get behind. So we're dealing with that. I think we're going to send him back next year, but this year we're doing that. So.
Taylor is also saying on chat that they definitely don't understand it all. Now, I'm sorry, but that's wrong. Because, Kai could go to school too, but now he can't because he has to be afraid of everything that they serve. I mean, I thought they'd do better than that.
That our state, it's kind of suffering. So when your kid's not in school, the school doesn't get credit. So it came down, basically they wanted us to go to the doctor every time he wasn't feeling well.
Every time. And that was ridiculous.
Became an issue. They don't understand that. So we'd have to look into I think there's a disability thing he might fall under. I think it's the 504. I don't know if you know much about
that. I've heard of that. I think Taylor mentioned that.
Each school district and state's different. It's kind of tough with some, so that's something we're going to check out. But that was the main issue, was dealing with absences and stuff like that.
Tell me, Kai, do you get to do a lot of parties? And I mean, how do you feel about traveling, going to restaurants with your family and friends? How do you do that?
Well, we don't really travel that much, but when we do, it's kind of easier now, And when we go to restaurants, they usually check everything.
Well, yeah, now that your mom is celiac too, which we didn't go into that, but go ahead and talk about the restaurant here. How do you guys do it?
Well, we usually just make sure we go to something that serves G-free food and, that we know is safe. So around here, it's a little limited. It's not bad, but that's what we do. We just always make sure it's someplace that we can eat as well. So he has a couple favorite places. Your favorite spot?
Yeah, what are they?
Go ahead.
I only have one, so just Red Brick Pizza. That's it.
He loves Red Brick Pizza.
How about In-N-Out? Do you guys go there? Because I saw a picture.
Protein style. We go there all the time. He loves that.
That is good, yeah. And they have a designated fryer for their fries, which is nice. Well, they don't put anything else in.
They don't. And I'm so, like I said, I'm so jealous of you guys because In-N-Out's a big deal for us. So every time we go down there, we hit almost every one that we can.
Sure. And they have a new place, Wood Ranch. It's kind of like a steakhouse, and their house barbecue sauce is gluten-free. So it's there's places we've kind of just tried and we know are safe. We'll go back to. Like Kathy said, we're a little limited here, but there are some places that we found and we'll frequent.
Okay, so Kathy, I'm a Kathleen, Kathy. Yes. You are also you were diagnosed now recently too, right? You weren't like the same time Kai was.
Oh no, and actually it was after I had our first baby. I was diagnosed with rheumatoid arthritis.
Oh my goodness.
And then a little later it was hypothyroid. Well, just recently when I was at my doctor, and I was talking about Kai and celiac, and we were talking about how he was doing, and the nurse practitioner said, have you been tested for celiac disease? She's the one that brought it up because of my other autoimmune issues. And I said no, and I don't know why I didn't ever think about it. It just never, I was so focused on him and everything, it just never crossed my mind.
As a mom, that's what you do.
Yeah, so we tested for it, and sure enough, there it was. So in the gluten-free diet has actually helped a lot, especially with achiness and inflammation seems to be reduced quite a bit.
Has it actually helped you with the inflammation? Because I hear that it's supposed to, and I want to get facts sometimes. So it feels pretty good.
It does a little bit, and it's probably going to take more time, but I do notice a difference in just overall general the way I feel and not so tired. I still have to take a thyroid pill every day and some anti-inflammatories, but it does help.
Maybe over time then. So you've had 6 kids.
Yes.
6 kids. Whoa. 6 kids, and and only one is celiac, and you. So
yes.
How do you deal with that at your house? I mean, there's some pictures, producer, of her kitchen besides the one she's in. Did I get those in there? She has separate sections of her kitchen designated for gluten-free and non-gluten-free, and she has food too, right? I mean, do you have food labeled like for you guys and food labeled for the rest of the family? How does that work?
We do. We have 2 toasters. We have we have separate cooking utensils. We even have like Kai's name. We have on our cast iron skillet, we have Kai's name engraved like in the handle. And then we put, Sharpies on the whatever's left over. We put gluten-free, non-gluten-free, because the other kids don't, like it. The 6-year-old will eat gluten-free. He doesn't seem to notice a difference, but our other 3 kids are gone, but the 17-year-old doesn't like gluten-free. So we have to split the kitchen, yeah.
Yeah, split kitchen. We educate them. They're pretty good about it. Even our 6-year-old, when he makes his waffles, he knows to use the regular toaster, and so.
Even the butter that you spread could,
Yes, we separate. We
Yeah.
go buy a big jug of butter and put it in a separate container for us, and because of the crumbs, jelly. We buy the squirt one, so you can, so it won't touch.
I think you say that on your website too, or is it Facebook? You say some of these great tips on your website, GlutenLibre.com. It's usually
Have them on both. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Trial and error. You learn like everybody else. You make your mistakes. Sometimes you get gluten and you learn, or like you said, social media, Twitter, everything. It's been great. We've gotten a lot of information from that.
I think so too. And Taylor's asking if you got those, tried the new gluten-free labels that, actually I asked her to be on my show. Hopefully she will be. That has the new, what's her name, Carrie? Kelly?
On Twitter. I know who you're talking about.
Oh yeah. Yes, the labels. Yeah, we haven't got those yet, but that's an excellent idea.
Well, also I do like, and I wish I had the picture. I don't. I thought I put it up for my producer to put up, but it's your stickers on the toaster. I thought that was perfect.
Yeah.
Oh yeah,
It's just some bumper stickers we cut up to mess around with, and we put one on there.
And some on the shelves, like a little X. So we put those on our. We have 2 separate, a gluten-free shelf and non-gluten-free shelf in the pantry. So.
All right. So, what advice would you guys give to all the other families and kids to help them diagnose their kids faster and keep them safe?
Well, I'd say first pay attention to what their kid's saying.
That's
When they
key.
say they don't feel good, they don't feel good. So if they say something's bothering them all the time, really pay attention to what they're saying.
And ask your doctor. If you know
Ask your
about
doctor,
celiac
yeah.
disease, it can't hurt to just test right away for that.
Test right away instead of being the last thing they test.
Yeah.
Like from Taylor, everybody, it's
Yeah.
it's usually the last thing that you go for, and why not ask about it? Make it the first. I think it all comes down to what we do. Awareness. That's key.
It is. And Kai, what do you want to get out of all of this fun that you've been through? Is there something you want to try and help other kids deal with a food allergy? Do you want to get out there and talk to others? Or are you kind of letting your parents do it?
He probably have his own way. Maybe get out there in some
And
way.
skate.
Yeah, exactly.
Yes, yeah.
Maybe with a brand, or like this summer, we're going to go to Warp Tour. It's like a big deal here in Ventura. It's an all-day event, and I'm going to go this year and kind of hang out behind the scenes and take some pictures of him, what he does, and kind of
Document what he does with his friends and everything, and how he handles it.
So maybe use something like that where he doesn't speak, but he's in there somehow. So we'll work him into that.
Yeah, the pictures of Kai are just so good. Is that you guys taking those pictures of him skateboarding and stuff on your website?
Yeah, Brian does. Yeah.
Yeah, I do most of that. I really like it. So that's what I hope to do more of,
I know, it's really nice. And so your other son's in there too with your dogs. I don't see the older one much in the pictures, but I have been seeing the younger one.
Oh, the little, Sean. He's loves his brother, so.
He likes the camera. So.
And he loves the camera.
Okay, so you guys will be going to the Warp Tour. Is there? You're going to one of the expos too, right? Here soon.
Next month, it'll be our first one in Pasadena.
So if anybody is near Pasadena and they're going to the expo, of course there's none in Seattle. I'm still not happy about that. But anybody going to the expo in Pasadena, say hi to these guys and follow them on Twitter. They're going to talk about where we can all find them, because they're so much fun to follow and they're so helpful. So where can we find all of you guys?
Go ahead.
Oh, you go ahead.
Oh, glutenlibre.com, and then I'm on Twitter. I'm at GlutenLibre, and Kathy is at GlutenLibre Mom.
And then our Facebook is GlutenLibre 805, and I have an Instagram too. So that's GlutenLibre Mom, at GlutenLibre Mom.
Pinterest? Are you guys on Pinterest?
Yeah, Brian just started Pinterest.
Yeah, I did.
I know. I need to follow you on this.
I know it.
And he's and Kai is going to do a Twitter too. So we'll tweet what his handle will be and everything when he starts it. So
Well, please blast that out, Kai, because I'll be following Kai. You guys have been wonderful tonight, and I don't want to hang up because I like all of you. It's been so much fun getting to know you on social media too. Let's see. Yeah, Taylor wants to know when Kai starts Twitter too.
Oh, for sure.
Okay, we'll tell him. Yeah.
We'll probably do it in the next day or two.
Well, actually, tonight.
Oh, tonight.
Okay, tonight.
Yeah.
Tonight it is, so don't forget.
I'll download.
I don't like to force stuff, but he brought it up. He said he wants to get involved more, so yeah. It'll be good.
I want to say thank you to Kai, because it's a big deal to sit in between his parents and talk about celiac disease. So thank you very much. Thanks.
Gotta bribe him.
Thanks.
No, it's good.
We're kidding.
All right. Thanks, guys. Thanks, Brian. Thanks, Kathleen.
Thank you.
Bye.
Bye.
All right, so follow them. They're just wonderful people on any social media, Facebook, Twitter. Great guests. Yes, I have to say they were. Next week's guest is Sharon. She's an author of The Girl Who Cannot Eat Peanut Butter. It deals with the kids and food allergies that are at school. Her daughter had this, so she wrote a book about it. She'll be my first Canadian guest, too, so stick around and watch Monday night, next Monday night, 7 p.m. Pacific time. Until next week, this is Kathy with Gfree and Happy.com. Have a great Gfree and Happy week.